So here's our next one up. If you're not familiar with the 24 Hour of Lemon series, you can go Google it. Basically, it's, if you've heard of 24 Hour Le Mans, it's a play off of that. And of course the compressor wants to kick on as soon as I start talking. But anyways, they were in a tight bind. They wanted it done ASAP. They explained that they were ready, getting ready for a big race. And at that point, I informed them I can make it happen. I'm gonna have to basically make my schedule that much harder, but it is what it is. I'm a racer at heart, so I know how things are, trying to get things done last minute. So it's here, it's on the dyno. Now he did have a couple issues, and he did mention it. Sorry if I'm yelling, I want to make sure you can hear me over the compressor. The throttle cable was getting stuck. Coolant hose, this coolant hose was ripped, but they actually used like a vacuum hose. And then we noticed the fuel pressure regulator was leaking fuel. Sorry, my finger. So the fuel pressure regulator was leaking fuel. It had an aftermarket one on there. We replaced that. So this is where we're at. We're having a starter issue. We're gonna see if we can overcome that and if it wants to start. And as I let the compressor shut off, here's an inside view. And you may notice that the videos are a little bit out of order. That's because when a car comes in like this and we're on a super tight schedule, and I mean super tight schedule, our main goal is not to give video. Our main goal is to make sure the car is good and worthy for the dyno, and that's exactly what we did. So right now we're letting it cool down a little bit because we want that starter to work. And you're gonna see here, as I just mentioned, the videos are a little bit out of whack. You'll see here the issues that we're having. And we're gonna continue on. We get the starter to kick over, I'm gonna tune it, they're gonna pick it up, and hopefully they can compete in their race. Now, I did talk to the customer. He actually just showed up when I was making one of these videos. And he informed me, and this is what he kept telling me, he's expecting it to break. And you know, I said, don't say that. It's just a matter of how long are they gonna be able to last on the track. So, you know, that's the main goal, and it's for us to document stuff so they can go home and they can repair the little stuff and, you know, ultimately win some races or have a really good time. And that's about it. So, as I said, if you're not familiar with the 24 Hour of Lemons, go Google it. It's a fun series. And if you're into racing, it might be something you want to look into. With that being said, let's see what we can do. So you can see under here too, got a little bit of oil leak. We're not gonna be able to fix that before it hits the dyno, but you know, as I was saying, we took care of the other stuff, just doing a full once over. You see some stuff that trans bolt is cracked, obviously. If you're new to my videos, then you know I just do a whole once over on everything and make sure that we're gonna be as safe as we can be while on the dyno. Since we do have this oil leak, I will be checking on the oil and probably filling it up, because it's only been idling here for a little bit, and that's the puddle, so we got that going on. And you know, go back here and just note anything in case he doesn't know. And gonna get this one strapped on, and we're gonna go to town on it. The other thing too, I just noticed as I was the whole underside is just soaked in oil. So this thing's been leaking some kind of oil for a little bit now. If it's on this side, I would assume that this is coming from the trans, and it's just literally just coming back with the wind. So just something we'll make a note of, and yeah, that's about it right now. See how it does. You can go ahead. So now we're hitting on the starter, and the starter doesn't want to work. I can hear it clicking. So the starter might have died. Maybe. It did it earlier, but it wanted to come alive. Now we're not getting anything. Maybe we'll let it sit for a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll let it sit for a little bit, and I'm gonna strap it on the dyno. We'll see if we can get the starter working again. So I just stopped the car because it felt like a wheel was gonna come off, and I believe it was this side. You can see literally, and I bet this is just hand tight. Yeah, look at that. So listen, I'm all for about getting stuff in last minute, but if you bring me a car like this, come on now. This one's the only one that's, hold on. Come on, I'm doing everything in reversed imagery. That's the only one that's tight, so we're gonna torque them down, the spec. Hopefully we don't have to pull it back off and jack the car up, because don't wanna do that, so fun time. So we got the plugs taken out. We're gonna see if my camera wants to focus here. Focus. Nope. Nope. Let's see if I can focus over here. Nope. Nope. Not focusing. So they are definitely, see if I can put it, there you go. We're gonna replace these. Actually iridiums too. I'm sorry about that. I don't prefer iridiums. So we're gonna put some standard ones in here, and they're definitely fouled out. Seeing how the car came in, I was expecting it to be running super rich, so we'll get that done. Okay, so at this point, we got the alternator's not charging at all. We got a jump pack on it. The jump pack is actually down. You can see the jump pack right there on the hook. That basically is so I don't have to climb out and jump start the car. Car is very inconsistent with air fuel. No matter what I do, I'll do a pull. Air fuels will be perfect. I'll let it sit for a brief moment, as I always do. I'll do another pull, and the air fuels are way over the place. I'll actually hop out. I can show you guys the air fuel, what I'm talking about. There's no reason for that. The tune doesn't change inside the map, not this drastic in a sense. Some other things, you know, in the back half of the program can cause air fuels to change a little bit, but not in this instance, okay? I just don't want somebody to say, oh, you're good. Yeah, I get it. Nonetheless, though, we have about air fuels at about 13.7, 13.5-ish. And then the last pull, and it was dialed in, then the last pull, air fuels wanted to skyrocket to like 16. So We don't got the alternator charging, which is not a good thing. If you're not familiar with tuning, I'm not going to go into it, but you can Google and understand why everything goes off voltage in a car, and if we're on lower voltage, why it's an issue. Right now the tune is dialed in pretty good when the car wants to act where it wants to act. We are down on power. I don't know, as I'm doing pulls, literally we got a couple things happening, and when I do the video outside the car, listen with your ears, the muffler is just disintegrating. Fiberglass is shooting out, and I can see it on the side as I'm doing a pull. The other thing is the caliper is hanging up. So the caliper, depending on how bad it's hanging up, well, you're basically loading the car up and you're putting resistance on it. So of course that's never good for power. A lot of stuff up with this setup. So in this case, all I can do is get the tune in as good as I possibly can, knowing where it should be, and tell him to fix these problems. Ultimately too, it's always a smart idea to do a health check on the motor, compression, leak down test and such. You can also do a valve adjustment. He informed me he just bought this motor, used of course, so who knows how many miles are on the motor. Routine maintenance goes a far way on anything, not just for tuning. So I'm going to keep it at that. I'm going to finish this up, I'm going to get out, I'm going to get a video outside, you'll see the car, but listen, and I know it's going to be loud, but listen for the scraping, especially when the car's coming down. When the car's slowing down and the dyno brake is on, listen for the scraping. So we're going to pretty much call it a night here. You can see, look at the oil trail that we're getting. Not only are we getting the oil that's coming out from here, which I do got to clean up too. And you can see the oil trail that's coming out. It's actually spraying all up front as well. So we got that to clean up, and I'm going to show you the air fuels really quick. So this is the air fuels. The red line, the red dotted line is what we're aiming for. That's 13.5. That's just my guide. Some cars like to be a little bit richer, some like to be a little bit lean, and that all, you know, affects of where the power levels are. So we're not talking about that in this case, but the blue line is actually a run after the car had about maybe 4 minutes to cool down, if that. So engine coolant temps are still exactly where they should be, and you can just see how they're just all over the place, and it's getting worse and worse as I get into it. We're getting so worse, and the blue is lean. We're getting so lean that I have to literally stop the pull, and I go to add fuel and nothing's happening. So in that case, I tell people something's going on with the car. I don't know. It's hard to say what's going on with it. When's the last time it was properly maintained? You could see it clearly spitting oil out. As I was saying, hopefully it explained a little bit what I see. I see a lot of this, and ultimately how a improperly maintained motor can act, and how we're we don't know where to go. So, it is what it is at that point. I'm going to wrap it up. I could be here blue in the face tuning, and the air fuels are going to keep doing what they want to do. At that point, you have to know when to call it a day. So, questions, comments, put down below. Shoot me an email. I'll gladly answer them. Take care.